All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. All right, and pretty much in this lesson, I'm just going to cover, a few articles dealing with inflation and shortages. Okay. Um, lately you've had on a much more intense scale, you have inflation, which when the signs of it first came, you had the um the feds basically trying to do damage control, trying to say no, it's they're blaming it on other factors. Okay, but now what we're starting to see is now they have to admit that, look, the numbers or the percentage at which this inflation is going up, all right, is concerning. Okay, and they're starting to say that, look, a lot of these levels of this rise is not going to stop. And as a matter of fact, it's going to have a big impact, okay, upon the lives of Americans. Because at this point that you have prices going up and you have shortages, you also have evictions that are taking place. You also have unemployment benefits that have run out. You also have people that are now losing their jobs because of these new requirements. So putting all this together as a mix is not a good recipe. All right, as a matter of fact, it's really a recipe for disaster. All right, so a few headlines here. This is from Zero Hedge. They put out some pretty good articles, RT News, Yahoo, so on and so forth. Now, this one says one of the largest U.S. supermarket chains warns inflation is about to impact more Americans. Okay, it says an executive, Kroger, one of the largest supermarket chains in the United States, warned grocery prices are about to become even higher this year as inflation sets in. Okay, so as inflation sets in with the little few months that this year has left, prices are about to keep going even higher. And why is that? Because freight, I think that's what they call freight prices, which is how much it costs to transport goods from one place to another, is going up. And you have a lot of these items that are getting stuck at these ports. So as prices of things go up, the more it costs companies and factories to manufacture and produce and transport their products and their goods, the more they're going to charge the people. I think it's in this article that he said it. Okay, it says here, inflation is running hotter than previously anticipated. The prices are slated to rise an additional 2 to 3% over the second half of 2021, Kroger CFO Gary Millerchip said during a call with reporters. Kroger will be check this out, passing along higher cost to the customer where it makes sense to do so, he said on September 10th. So when the prices go up, they're gonna pass it along to the customer through price increase. So if they have to pay extra to get the items here, you got to pay extra for those items so it can balance out on their aspect. Okay. It says the comment comes as price for beef, poultry, and pork have risen at grocery stores in recent months, leading White House officials to blame meat processing companies. But we know that as inflation goes up, it doesn't affect just meats. It affects every sector. Okay, and as a matter of fact, I'm gonna jump down a bit. It says, other than Kroger's warning, food giant Nestle's chief financial officer, Francois Xavier Roger, acknowledged a higher input cost inflation in 2022 than this year. So it's gonna get worse this year, but it's gonna get even worse next year. Now, as we're watching this year unfold, we're seeing it's like a impending tension that's getting ready to blow. but the Lord has it held in just a little bit longer for something, and he's going to have it blow. So you're going to have outrageous prices for things, and be ready to see that. You're going to go into the store, and because it's like going down a slippery slope. Once you fall and you start slipping, you're going to start slipping faster and harder. So that's what's going to start happening. Once this inflation really sets in and the gears start kicking, it's going to start moving faster and develop into hyperinflation. And these shortages are going to start driving this economy mad. Now it says if we talk of 2022, it is likely that input cost inflation will be higher next year than this year, Rogers said at Barclays Consumer Staples Conference. It says our strategy is to offset anything we receive through pricing. The idea is to pass it on to the trade and to consumers whenever we receive it. You hear that? So these companies, they're not finna take a fall for you. They're saying, look, you want our goods, you want to partake in our services, then when the prices go up for us, we're gonna just pass that on to you. All right, as it gets more difficult for us to obtain and do what we got to do, you're gonna pay the price for that. So when you go to the store and a loaf of bread now costs $10, now costs $15, now costs $20, and you're like, why the hell is a freaking a loaf of bread so expensive? It's because of the cost to get that loaf of bread on that shelf. So now you got to pay for that if you want the bread. So really put yourself in this position and understand how long up until people start saying, "Look, man, I might just sneak this can into my jacket and be out," or "Look, man, I might just put these things in the cart and just rush out of the store because, man, I'm not working. Okay, my savings is running out. I ain't got nothing, and shit, this price is way too crazy. Whatever little bit I have, I'm not gonna waste it on a loaf of bread." So these things are going to cause people to start getting desperate. And especially when it comes to the food aspect, when people don't have something to put into their belly, they get very desperate and they're willing to do almost anything. So you go from somebody that's a quote unquote law abiding citizen to now he's a criminal because now he's stealing, because now he's robbing people, even though he never saw himself as somebody that could do it, but because of the situation and the circumstance and the desperation, he now finds himself in a position where that's what he's doing. And that's what a lot of people are going to find themselves in. They're going to find themselves in that predicament. Now you have here 3M warns inflation is here to stay because they keep saying it's transitory. It's transitory. It's transitory. But the thing is getting worse. It says sees auto production tumbling more than expected. And it basically goes into these prices going up. But now when you come to electronics, there's this giant chip shortage. So a lot of electronics are being, a lot of companies are cutting down their production of these electronics because there's a chip shortage. And certain parts that you need are not coming in. They're very scarce now. So the supply, when we say supply chain, we're talking about everything that gets supplied to the country, that gets supplied from factories to stores, and from stores to your house. It's broken, meaning that it's that circle of it going on like that. It's not going to keep doing that anymore. So people need to prepare for that. And as that happens, the reason the price of things are going to go up is because the value of your dollar is going to go down. So really, a loaf of bread, the price didn't go up, but the value of your money went down. A dollar is now worth 50 cents. So if you want to buy something that used to cost $1, it now costs $2. Why? Because technically your dollar is only worth 50 cents. So you need two of those in order to have the purchasing power of $1. That's what it's like. And that's why it seems like prices are going up. But the problem with inflation that turns into hyperinflation, damn, says I went to Prince of Yahweh 4. He said I went to Walmart yesterday. Rib eye steaks was $63, $63 for three steaks in the pack. My goodness. Hey, that's similar to price of salmon now. You know, you get three, what, however they measure it, and that joint is pretty much like $50. You know, and it's like at first there were, it was subtle changes that you barely noticed. So you're just like, yeah, yeah, you know. People say, oh, it's expensive now. Oh yeah, it's like trivial. You know, you hear it all the time. Oh yeah, food prices are going up, things are getting expensive. But now you're starting to witness it yourself. You're like, yo, hold on, this jump is way too high. I bought yesterday. I bought uh 10 bottles of water, all right, essential water, and one bag of pistachios, and the price was like $33. You know, $33. I'm like, nigga, what? $33 for 10 bottles of water? What? Why? Why? But it's because inflation is setting in, and the Lord is really starting to cause that squeeze. Okay, He's causing that squeeze by cutting off. Like the Lord is spiritually putting a siege on this place, so you're not getting access to things, and people are getting more and more desperate. And as things get more scarce, and they can't get access to it, they will get even more desperate, and the squeeze is gonna get tighter and tighter and tighter. And then you have another one here. It says top UPS executive warns supply chain disarray will leave permanent scar. Because you have it's just all collapsing at once. Because at the same time you have these truck drivers that are now getting, a lot of them are getting ready to quit and leave and stop. All right, and go on strike. So prices are going up. The value of your money is going down. The shortages are getting worse, and then whatever little bit you got that is supposed to get transported from one place to another, it's not coming in. So when you go to the grocery store or the supermarket and you see that the shelves are empty, and you're wondering what the hell is going on here, well, you got to remember, a lot of these supermarkets, they don't really have those stored reserves anymore. They usually do, basically they get it on call. So they order it when they need it, on a need basis. But now the food trucks, they used to be every 2 minutes you would see one on the highways and so on and so forth, coming into the city, blocking up the road. You know, as they bring their hand trucks and they unload things and take them into the stores. Now you're seeing that less and less. Okay, because there's less and less to bring, and sometimes not at all. So now if a store used to maybe order every 3 months, or every, you know, however they used to order, you know, a couple weeks to get more shipment coming in, now they're not getting it. So they may order this week, but now they may need to wait 3 months. And then you keep coming to the store, and maybe you look for an item today, and then you say, you know what, they don't have anymore, I'll come back next week. You come back next week, and there's still nothing there. Then you come back the week after, and there's still nothing there. So you say, you know what, I'm gonna settle for something else. And then you go to another aisle, and that thing is empty too. And then before you know it, 75% of the store is empty, and there's nothing coming in. And whenever you look, it's always the essential parts that are going quick like that. All right. So, hey, man, the Lord is finna really bring that, and wintertime is coming. So everything is gonna be harder to do in the wintertime. Now, for these people that are getting evicted, you know, that's gonna be a very, you know, difficult situation. So people are gonna be halted from going to places. Their draconian measures are gonna be put in place. All right, things are getting very, very serious and very bad very quickly, and it's all happening according to the will of the Heavenly Father, because it's gonna lead to these various judgments that the Lord has set in place for this land. And famine is a very, the scriptures say that it is a it had been better to die by the sword than to die by famine, because to starve to death is not a good thing. And it's so bad that people would rather turn cannibalistic than starve to death. All right, this is the book of Ecclesiastes 12:3. And at the same time, you having a lot of these, it's like a systematic purge that they're setting up. You know, push nurses, all these people are losing staff. What do you think is going to happen? You can't maintain a facility if you don't have enough staff. And it's not that you're going to just hire more, because majority of the people that are leaving and majority of the people that you want to hire have the same mindset. Okay? Because even if you wanted to hire more staff, you wouldn't be able to, because by law very soon you won't be able to hire them. They can't work there if they don't fit a certain category. So you have that going on, and the government is saying, oh, don't worry, we're going to fund you for the money you lose when these customers stop coming in because they don't want to comply. But it's not just about the funding. It's about keeping the store afloat, and you need customers, but you also need employees to do that. Okay, it doesn't matter how prestigious your hospital is. If there are no doctors and nurses in there, what good is your hospital? It's just a building. They had to close the. They had to basically halt birth deliveries at this hospital, because a lot of the women that work in the maternity wing area are leaving. So your water breaks, and this is your nearest hospital, and they rush you there. Oh, sorry, we don't have any. So what the hell? You know what I'm saying? What is a woman supposed to do? And it's gonna happen in more crucial, essential places, because when these hospitals start getting overrun, things start getting violent. A lot of places and a lot of these workers will be overwhelmed, because now you're starting to work your workers even harder, having them work even longer shifts, having them, work even harder and more difficult tasks to make up for the short-handed staffness. So how long before they burn out? How long before they start getting sick and injured and quitting? So this is a recipe for disaster. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few. And the grinders represent the workers. Okay, because in the ancient world, you would have the women that would grind the meal, and they would have the two millstones, and then they would have they would pour whatever it is in the middle, the wheat, the grain, and then they would grind one stone on top of another, and in between the stones would be the grain that's being grinded. And then as it's being grinded to powder, it's they're collecting that, and then they're using that for whatever it is they use it for, to bake and so on and so forth. So they are workers. All right, and the grinders, the workers here are ceasing. Why? Because they are few. So you see what's going on, right? The shortages are not just of goods, but you also have shortages of people, of workers. And if you have a city with a shortage of law enforcement, what do you think that's going to do to that city? When you call 911 and first responders are not coming because this is a big ass city and there's not enough first responders. Okay? And then when the cop goes there and things get dangerous, he calls for backup, but he doesn't have backup. You think he's going to keep on putting his life in danger when he has a family to go back to, and he knows that if he calls for backup, there's nobody coming? And these people are, and he starts to see crime get more outrageous, because people get more confident in their crimes, because they believe, well, it's not enough police officers to catch us anyway. Now they're putting their lives, their jobs just put their lives in even more danger. Okay? So it says, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out the windows be darkened, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, because you're gonna have a lot of these stores that are gonna close down. They're gonna pull down their metal covering sheet, and they're not gonna open up again. It says, and he shall rise at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Now, what I also want to mention is, during the riots and the protests last year, the George Floyd stuff that was going on, you notice that a lot of stores were getting broken into, and people were just going in there, just stealing things, just because, right? Hey, look, everybody's taking it. Let me go in there and grab me a TV. Let me grab this jewelry and these things. Let me steal this. because hey, the store, the window is broken, everybody's in there, and it was happening in various places, a lot of looting. Now, when those riots incur again this time, people are going to be, it's going to be much worse than it was then, because back then people didn't need to steal, they just did it because they were doing it. Now, when necessity has kicked in and people are hungry and are breaking into stores, not because oh they're just rioting and bricks are here and so let's break, no, they're going in there with the objective of we're grabbing the food, we're grabbing the water, we're grabbing the medical stuff, the first aid kits, and we out of here. You're gonna start to see that trend, and it's gonna get to the point where these people are gonna be doing it wholeheartedly because they actually need it this time. They're not saying, well, I got two TVs at home, but shit, I want this flat screen, let me steal that. No, it's gonna be, yo, I got nothing at home and my fridge is empty, and if there's a riot going on, I'm taking advantage of that. I'm going up into this grocery store and I'm stealing shit. And I'm not running to the electronics aisle, I'm running to the food aisle. People gonna be fighting right outside these stores. Give me your shit. Nah, what you mean? That's my stuff. I paid for this. I don't give a hell, man. I'm hungry as hell. Give me that shit. You know, and they going back and forth. You know, people stealing, people. I mean, all the crimes that used to be committed in a regular society are going to be amplified now because of desperation. So prepare to see that. And as inflation goes up, now this is the book of Proverbs 11:4. Riches profit not in the day of wrath, but what? But righteousness delivereth from death. So whatever it does, you can have $50,000 in the bank, but it's not gonna mean shit because like how you have certain investments, you may invest in gold or silver or Bitcoin or something like that, and overnight you may start getting rich because as bad things happen, the value of these precious metals start going up. So you're getting rich as things are happening, and you don't even have to do anything. Well, when hyperinflation sets in, you're gonna be getting poor overnight because suddenly $50,000, $1 million, all this money you have in the bank that makes you rich starts to devalue at a rapid pace. Okay, because now your $50,000 is now worth 30,000. It's not worth 25,000. It's now worth 10,000. Because you wonder why the hell is my rent now 25,000? What the hell happened to me being rich because I had 50,000? See, so your riches are not gonna profit you because you're gonna realize that in a matter of a week, you went from decent to broke as hell, and people are gonna start burning their money for heat. When the lights go out, it's gonna be an even worse situation because when the lights go out, your money won't do anything. Money does not mean shit. All right, or I should say, your paper dollars is not gonna mean a damn thing in that time. What when certain neighborhoods are so bad, you just got dead bodies in certain corners. Lack of police to do anything about it. The chaos. Right before they declared that martial law, you got that chaos, going on in these different areas. If somebody came up to you to try and harm you or do something to you, you think you're gonna give them a couple of $200 and they're gonna take that? Where are they gonna go, to the burnt down supermarket or deposit it in a broken bank? They're not gonna care about your money. That's not gonna profit you in the day of wrath. Your money matters now. Well, mattered in society when it was functioning because you got more money, you can go and buy things, you can do. People are not gonna be worried about how nice your car is. When things get bad and dire, you're not gonna be worried about, damn, should I go with the Accord or the Civic? Or damn, I like that Ferrari over there. No, it's gonna be, I don't care if it's a 2002 Toyota something. If the thing moves, we getting in it and we're getting out of here. People are gonna go back. They're gonna stop thinking about luxury and they're gonna start thinking about necessity. And it's all gonna be caused because of the desperation that's gonna come through multiple scenarios. But one of the big ones is the inflation and the food shortages. All right, because you have shortages of other things, but when it really comes to food, that's when things get real hard and difficult. Okay, like certain sieges that have happened in the past were very effective because they cut off your water supply and your food supply. One thing people cannot live without is what? Food and water. Clothes, fine. Housing, fine. People, what, fine. But if they don't have food and they don't have water, they lose it. Okay? This is Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 15. It says, the sword is without, and pestilence and the famine within. He that is in the field shall die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour. Because when you look at the cities today, these trees don't bear any fruit. It's all right. When you in the cities, the trees don't bear fruit. The fruits and the foods you get come from farmers markets and different areas that they then bring to these markets. But you're not gonna step outside, look to your right, and there's gonna be a apple tree bearing fruit, and you can just pluck it and eat. Not in these areas. Okay, so what are you gonna eat? What are you gonna really plant? And what fertile soil, these trees be looking shriveled up and dead. And you wonder how they're still standing every year. There's nothing, these cities are designed as like a siege mode. They're designed to really, when they lock down these cities, they're going to have people by the throat. Because when they lock down these cities and nothing is coming into your city, you realize that the main way of people getting food is not like they own farms or they can no. A lot of people in these cities get their foods from grocery stores. It's one source. All right. And that the grocery stores get restocked when these food trucks come in. But when it's blocked off and they're not allowed to come into your city anymore, and your grocery stores have now run out of food, where do you go to get food now? All right, where do you go? The main source, like I said, is those trucks coming in. So where do you go to get food? There's nothing in the supermarkets, right? You're not eating leaves. So what are people gonna start doing? They're gonna start saying, all right, if there's nothing in the supermarket, that means that people have bought those things. So the next location is now the houses of people, because the supermarkets are empty, but I'm sure somebody got to have something. There's somebody that is a doomsday prepper somewhere, and in his basement he got a boatload of food and canned goods and all of that, and I'm gonna find him. And a lot of people are gonna start thinking, you know what? If I'm struggling in the hood, I'm sure this other nigga is also struggling in the hood. But I'm sure them Edomites in those good neighborhoods, they got it good. So let's go see what they got. And you're going to have a lot of people going into different areas. In your city, you're going to look for the richest areas, the quieter areas, and then they're going to start banding up and they're going to start invading one another, as the scriptures talk about, going house to house, looking and scavenging to see what they can find, what remains, what goods, what, I'm saying, what is left here that I can find. And if I happen to come to your house and you're there, well, then this is going to be an interesting time, because I'm going to need what you got. And I know you're not going to want to give it up. So it's going to get desperate. People will be desperate, and they will do desperate things. Your neighbor might bring your doorbell, and you open the door, and there's the whole shotgun pointed to you, like, yo, let me come in there and let me do some inspection of what you got. And you're like, hold up, what, bro? I've known you for 19 years. We always say what's up to each other. Why are you doing this? You're gonna hear that a lot. Why are you doing this? Because it's through desperation, man. It's not going to be about you anymore. The scriptures say at that time, a friend shall fight one against another like enemies. So it ain't going to be about, whoa, come on, man. We could talk this out. The dude does not want to talk. His stomach is enough talking for him. All right. He's moving based off of his flesh. Like the brother said, they're going to be eating their own babies. You know why? Because it happened before, and it's happened many times before, and it'll happen again, because these people are, these Americans are some of the most psychotic, mentally deranged individuals on the planet Earth. They will eat people. They will eat their babies. They will eat other people's children. Yo, man, shit. So it's going to get real nasty and real deadly out here, man. And one mistake could end your life right there. You know, one wrong move, one wrong turn, and your life is done. Somebody just blow your brains out. And this is why we're going to need the hedge and protection from on high, from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Verse 16, but they that escape them, but they that escape of them shall escape, and shall be on the mountains like doves of the valleys, all of them mourning, every one for his iniquity. Now, I'm going to say this too. You know, depending on what your location is, you ultimately have to remember that we are going to wait upon the Lord. He has a deliverance plan set for us. And we don't know exactly what that plan is, but we need to wait on it. Because you may have plans of your own, but if your plans, if the Lord's plans are what his plans are, and it's not your plans, you got to throw away whatever you think you want to do and what you're going to do and go with what the Lord has set. All right, don't be, oh, look, when shit pops, I got my bug out bag, I'm grabbing it, I'm driving up north, and I'm hopping into, you know what I'm saying, I got a tent, and there's a spot that I scouted 3 months ago, and it looks real nice and peaceful in the woods somewhere. I'm going to climb up to the top tree and build a tree house, and that's where I'll be for a while. And then, this, you know what I'm saying, shit hits off, and you blocked, the second you try to go for your car, that shit has been vandalized, broken down, destroyed, you know. It may happen when you may be miles away from your house. And then before you could even initiate plan survive bug out, the shit broke down before you could even initiate it. Because your plan was, let me grab that bug out bag and let me run to my car, but your car is messed up and you're not even near your house. Then what? Now, if your whole mindset was, damn, this plan was all I had, you're going to lose your mind. You're going to lose your mind. But those that trust and wait upon the Lord are going to be fine. Because in their minds, they're like, look, we play out certain scenarios, but ultimately we will go with what the Lord says for us. So it doesn't matter where we are. If all hell breaks loose and we are a mile or two away from our house or wherever we're at, that means that the Lord's deliverance plan starts with us being in the location we're at. Wherever you at, when shit goes down, that's how the Lord's delivery plan for you starts. He says, I need you to be in this location when this goes down. That's why I had an appointment on this day and end up here. Because in order for me to deliver you, it starts from this point. Or maybe I need you to end up in a FEMA camp because there's somebody that I need you to deliver or you to help out. Maybe I'm throwing you there because I want to give you spiritual power so you could break out a few other brothers and sisters that got caught up there and that have been praying to me for a while. And so you got to remember, man, you got to be flexible in the spirit. You got to be like water. You got to flow like the wind because you don't, oh, shit, they caught me. They're taking me to a FEMA camp. Oh, I'm so dead. Oh, my gosh, I'm going to die. Don't think like that because you don't know why the Lord is putting you there. He may be putting you there because he wants you to help deliver somebody else. Just like he had Paul and Silas thrown into prison so that they could convert that the keeper of the prison and his family. Okay, so you got to just deal with what the Lord, you know, the cards the Lord gives you, and just go with it, because the scriptures say better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof, and we can only see as far as the Lord will let us, but he doesn't give us too many details all the time, so we just have to trust. All right, Ezekiel 7:17, all hands shall be feeble and all knees shall be weak as water. Because you see, you don't know what level of intensity is going to be until the first you know, couple of days or hours or whatnot that you're in it. That's when you're going to realize, oh, okay, this is what we're dealing with. So you may, you know, people like to think, oh, I'm going to do this, I got this here. And then when the shit hits the fan, that energy and boldness that they had just disappears. All hands shall be feeble. The only reason the elect are going to be strong is because when that nervousness sets in, the Lord is gonna, his spirit is gonna jump on us. It's gonna be like those that go into shock and their heart stops beating, so they do the little thing and they be like, charge it to whatever 300, then they put it on the chest and then boom, they shock them back and they jump start it. It's gonna be like that because initially you're gonna be shocked. I mean, depending on the intensity of the situation, you're gonna be like, whoa, you know, I knew it was gonna be bad, but shit, how are we gonna? And then the spirit of the Lord is gonna be like that shock. You know, it's gonna boom, and then you're gonna, you know, instantly you're gonna break out of whatever spirit that try to jump on you to weaken you. That's why the Lord said he's going to keep us in the hour of temptation. You know, instantly you're going to get this sudden surge of strength, this sudden surge of boldness, to where it's even laughable that they would try to think that you would take that mark. You know, it's going to seem so ridiculous. You're going to just get that sudden boost in the spirit, like, what the hell? Why the hell was I bugging out over this? You know, because the Spirit of the Lord is going to come upon you. And the Spirit of the Lord is going to come with boldness and certainty and comfort and stability of mind. And all of a sudden, you're going to know just what to do. All right, you're going to be calm. You're going to be able to make those decisions, because it's not going to be of us. It's going to be of a higher power. When you think of it as if it's something you have to do, that's when you get stressed. That's when you're like, damn, you know, because how am I going to get, it's not going to be you. It's not going to be you. It's going to be the Most High, Bahashem Yahushai. That we leave our troubles up to the Lord. The planning and the deliverance and the how and the who's and the nooks and the crannies, we leave that up to the Lord. All right, this is a team effort, and our role in this is to teach and to believe. Okay, that's our role. Just believe and be ready when I tell you to be. That's it. Lord says, look, be ready when I tell you to be, and you're going to be fine. That's what we got to do. Don't worry about the extra stuff. I got it. That's what Yahushua meant when he said, seek ye the kingdom of God, and everything else shall be added on to you. Don't worry about the evil from tomorrow. The Lord already got it set up. That's why he has his angels. Their job is to do that. Your job is just to believe and be ready. So when he tells you move, you move. He tells you stop, you stop. That's it. All right. It's not about you. You ain't doing nothing. The Lord is the one driving. Okay. So Ezekiel 7 and 18, it says, they shall also gird themselves with sackcloth, and horror shall cover them. You hear that? Horror shall cover them. Now, when something covers you, like think about a blanket, like a blanket, you just cover your whole body. When you look to the left, you look to the right, you look above you, everything around you is that blanket. So that's what it's going to be like for these people. Everything around them is going to be horror of all different kinds. And the Most High knows what scares everybody the most. What is everybody's greatest fear? So when he says that he's going to torment certain people, you're going to understand the true definition of torment. Because the thing you fear the Most High could put you in that on the highest level. You may fear, you know, I had somebody tell me one time the biggest fear is toes, feet. You know, feet. What? I was like, what? You're afraid of feet? They said, yeah. I said, everything in the world, all these scary things, you're afraid of feet? They said, yeah, I'm afraid of feet. I said, all right, cool. So if you don't repent, the Most High could have you, I don't know. You know, you tied up somewhere, somebody dirty ass feet haven't been washed in 2 months, and they're putting it on your nose, you know, I'm just stuffing their toes in your nose or some shit. I don't know. The Most High can do something to play on your fears, you know, because it's a punishment. All right, it says here, and shame shall be upon all faces, and baldness upon all their heads. Verse 19, they shall cast their silver in the streets. There you go. And their gold shall be removed. Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of the Lord. Because Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is not looking for you to pay him with silver or gold. He's like, I made those things for you guys to use. The only currency I'm accepting is the spirit, is faith. That's the commodity that you can use with me. Because he that cometh to the Most High must believe that he is. You must serve him in spirit and in truth. All right, in sincerity. If you want to talk to the Lord, you got to talk in his language. And his language is on the spiritual. It's not in carnality. So you think that you can deliver yourself. That's the thing. People are storing up currency that is not going to benefit them. Okay, if you are going to a particular land where they trade in, you know, in a different currency, you shouldn't be working for a different currency. You know, if you're going to maybe a land where they only deal in maybe yuan, right? China, right? Yuan. And there's no such thing as conversion. You can't convert from dollars to yuan. You either work and get paid in yuan, or you work and get paid in dollars. And what these people are doing is they're saying, oh, I'll take it in dollars. Yeah, I'll take it. Give me the dollars. and then knowing damn well that they finna end up in China at the last day. So is it really wise to work in dollars if you know that you're gonna need yuan? So as these people in their mind build up their society and their life with this world's currency, when all hell breaks loose, they're gonna realize that that's not the currency that's accepted. Because as they were accumulating the worldly currency, we were accumulating the spiritual currency. Because we know that ahead of time, the only currency that we're going to be able to use is the spiritual currency. So that's why we do what we do now. Every time you go out to the highways and byways, or you study, or you in the spirit, or you do a lesson, or whatever you do that the Lord requires and considers on your behalf, you get paid in the spirit. You get spiritual currency. So when all hell breaks loose, guess what? Proverbs 11:4, riches profit not in the day of wrath, but what? Righteousness delivereth from death. So how are you going to get delivered? Through your righteousness, which is that currency. That's what we're going to be able to use in that day. So when we call upon the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, we're going to be using that currency that we've been building up. All right, that credit that we've been building up with the Lord, and we're going to be able to use it in that day. But these people, when the inflation goes up, because that's going to be the death of their carnal money, you know, and the destruction starts hitting, they're going to realize, oh, the Most High, he ain't taking Cash App or PayPal or Zelle. You know, he ain't doing that. Okay? So as it says here, they shall not satisfy their souls, neither fill their bowels, because it is a stumbling block of their iniquity. And people are going to starve, they're going to cry, they're going to be in pain. And what's going to hurt even more is having no way out. You know, that when somebody's in pain, they can bear the pain a little longer if they know that it's almost over. But somebody's in pain and you tell them get comfortable because you ain't, you know what I'm saying, you're not leaving this. Guess what? they're gonna completely lose it, man. Imagine you're doing a workout, right? Maybe squats or plank or whatever, and they like hold it. You know the hold workouts. They like hold 5 seconds, hold, and this shit is burning. Your core is burning, but you know I just gotta hold it for 5 more seconds, or for 3 more seconds, or for 2 more seconds. You can do it, but you holding it, and then they're like a minute left. And then 30 seconds go by, a minute left. 30 seconds go by, yeah, bro, you're not, there's no counting down. You're going to stay like this. They're gonna completely lose it. So when the shit goes down and shit hits the fan and it dawns on people that this is the new reality, there's no going back and there's no way out of it, they're gonna get hit with a truckload of regret. So as they're going through physical pain, they're gonna be met with regret. And it's gonna hurt them so much because every corner pretty much that you turn on, you see Israelites, or you hear us, or you go on to YouTube and you see us and you hear the message, and it's gonna hurt them because they're gonna say, I was so close. I had the opportunity every day. I could have just clicked on one video, learned, and just heard what they were saying, and I would not be in this situation today. But because of it hurts because it's like it's such a slight, you know, it's not like you had the chance. You had the chance. Maybe one day you were walking and you saw brothers on the street corners and they were preaching and you almost stopped. You almost stopped, but you didn't. And you kept on going. And now your life, you're catching hell and you're thinking, had I stopped that day, I was this close to stopping. Had I stopped that day, I wouldn't be in the situation that I'm in right now. That regret is going to mess people up, man. It is going to mess with their heads so bad, knowing that you were so close to not having to be in this situation and yet you chose the wrong one. Yeah, man, that's not going to be a good feeling. Now, from here, this is the book of 2nd Ezra 6:22. And suddenly, you hear that? And suddenly, you know, these words, these key words, man. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. So it's going to hit these people without giving them time to prepare. And people are going to think that they're ahead. They're going to run to the stores and they're not going to see anything there because it's going to be suddenly. It's going to go from full to empty. Oh, I know the BJ's or the Sam's Club over here. Nah, they always got stuff. And you run over there and the shit is empty. You know, and then you go from there. All right, cool. Let's go to the fresh market over here. And then you run there and it's empty. And what's going to happen when the full storehouses are found empty? People are going to get hungry. And then they show you in these commercials, you're not you when you're hungry. Yeah, you're not you when you're hungry. When these cartoons show you somebody sitting there and they're like this, and they haven't eaten for a while, and then they turn around and they start looking at the next person, but they're looking at them in a certain kind of way. And the person's like, yo, why are you looking at me like that? You know, and then this person that they're telling that to, it's like they can't even hear you. They're in a trance. And all they start thinking about is, yo, I mean, shit, meat is meat, right? Man, you know it's over at that point. You know, they start talking about the weakest link in their group. You know, look at Tom over there, man. He ain't even gonna make it anyway. He should sacrifice himself for us. You know, why Tom, you know you ain't gonna make it, bro. You fat. You know, you got meat on you. You know, we haven't eaten in a couple of days. You want to do something for us? You want to take one for the team? People are going to start really thinking like that. And they're not going to see anything wrong with it because their brain is going to justify doing it because their body hasn't eaten. And at that point, crazy don't sound crazy anymore. Crazy just sounds like a necessity that needs to happen in the moment. Oh, man. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 22. And I'm going to close it on this. It says, for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine. So that tells you your answer right there. That these shortages are not going to stop at shortages. These shortages and this inflation and the desperation and the chaos is going to lead to a lot of people that dwell upon the earth perishing of famine. So not just in America, but all around the earth are going to die of hunger. They're going to die of lack of food. It says, and the other that escaped the hunger shall the sword destroy. So you just so managed to get food somewhere, you're going to die by some other means. And the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them. So as these things are happening, now you know that a man can tolerate more mental. He can remain stronger mentally during physical adversity, all right, as opposed to women in instances, and in many instances in the scriptures. You know, when some calamity comes, you know, you look at Tobit and his wife, for example. When Tobias hadn't returned in the allotted time, my goodness, I think her name was Anna. She was just bugging out on him. Oh, our son is dead. You sent him, and look, he hasn't come back. And Tobit is like, yo, look, you need to stop. You need to stop, because he's staying calm, but now her crying and nagging is like starting to get to you. Okay, so in these times, you're gonna have people that are gonna want to be comforted, but when shit starts going south, women lose it first. They lose their minds first. They require more comforting. They want to be told everything is gonna be all right. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna protect you. I'm gonna keep you safe. Don't worry. The Lord is with us. And some women and some men are going to get that, those that are of the elect, that is, but the rest are not going to get it. Because as it says, there shall be no man to comfort them. Because your husband is dead, your father is dead, your brother is dead, your friends are dead. You're in a land that you don't recognize, you don't know where you are, you haven't eaten in a couple of days, you're tired, you've been running from people that constantly been chasing you. And you know when you get into a chase, when somebody chases you, they don't, depending on what it is, they don't stop. They show you that in a lot of these shows when maybe you have a car that's been following, that's been following you for a couple of miles. And then you try to swerve them. You keep trying to swerve them and move here, and you're not able to shake them. And then you hide in this house, and this dude is still after your ass. And you like 2-3 days later, this guy is still on your ass. You're going to have situations like that. Just when you think you're in the clear, this dude is still following you. He wants that ass, and he's coming. You like, damn, this guy don't. So you tired, you running, you want help, you seeking help, but there's this crazy ass dude, this Ted Bundy ass looking dude chasing your ass. Dude, fast as hell. You know, opens his freaking trench coat and there's just different knives and shit, and the guy's just not even here. You know, you're gonna have those situations. So people are not gonna have that comfort of knowing that everything is gonna be all right, because nothing is gonna be all right for them. We are, because we're gonna know what's going on, and we're gonna know that we have a defense. It says, "For the earth shall be wasted, and the cities shall be cast down." So your New York cities and your Manhattans and your major areas that were known for being these cities, the city that never sleeps, you're gonna look at it again and you're gonna be like, whoa, trees and vines growing through buildings, you know, electricity out. Okay, it just wild animals running in the streets. The scriptures say it, that the paths shall be covered by the vines and the streets, and nobody's gonna be to till the ground. So it's gonna be chaotic, and it's gonna look like a dead zone. Certain areas are gonna look like dead zones, and all because at the end of the day, now certain areas are gonna look better than other parts. Certain areas, people are gonna be compliant, and they're gonna be good in their mind. They're gonna take that mark. They're gonna keep going to work and doing their shit, and they're gonna be watching on TV these other areas that are like completely, dead zones. Oh yeah, like in the movie I Am Legend. But at the end of the day, what's gonna happen to all of it is gonna all get destroyed by the thermonuclear missiles and by the laser beams from the chariots. All right. So what we're witnessing is the Lord crumbling the world. He's crumbling this infrastructure, and he is destroying Babylon from the inside out. And that's why you're seeing the things that you're seeing, because all of these things are coming together to lead to the end goal of these prophecies. All right. And that's going to be this chaos and this tribulation like there's never been seen on the planet Earth before. Okay. And that's getting ready to happen very, very soon. So with that, I'm going to end it here. Lord willing, this was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakwadash. Hey, as the scriptures say, man, we're going to watch and see what Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai has in store for us. Okay? So until next time.